Welcome back, Patriots. Welcome to Sons of Liberty 1773. I'm your host, Bill Bailey. I am a little echo in here. I've been working in the gas station. Can't do a lot now until we get some warm weather so I can paint. But that's all right. I'm pretty trashed from putting up ceiling and insulation and plywooding the walls, so I don't mind a little break. So our world's crazy as ever, and I wasn't going to make a video, and then I read this article and I thought, we can't escape this stuff, and knowledge is power. So you might as well be, we need to know what's going on, right? So before I get into the main story, I want to talk about just a couple tidbits I'll share. Breaking House Oversight Committee shows Biden's received $1 million after China wired $3 million to Biden associate. So the Biden family is absolutely evil and criminal. Everything you notice everything they accuse Trump or the MAGA people about, they're actually guilty of. How this guy is still president is beyond me. What McCarthy is waiting for, they should have, day one, they should have impeached this guy. They need to do it. There's just no law and order in this country anymore. Evil is rewarded and good is punished. That's the world we're living in. It's biblical times, by the way. And then real quick on this, here it comes, folks. The United States Federal Reserve announced Wednesday it will roll out FedNow, its long-awaited instant payment system, in July. The FedNow service will be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for instant bill payments, money transfers, including paychecks and disbursements from the government. This is a Fed coin, a central bank digital currency. Mark of the beast stuff. The system, I found this interesting. It's like no security checks to this, since the system does not rely on blockchain technology and is operated by a consortium of large banks. The first week of April, the Federal Reserve will begin the formal certification of participants for launch of the service. Early adopters will complete a customer testing and certification program informed by feedback from the FedNow pilot program to prepare for sending live transactions through the system. The Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System announced in a statement issued on Wednesday, I don't want any part of it. I want cash. I want our currency, the paper stuff that says "In God We Trust" with pictures of our founding fathers on it. And the Constitution says our currency will be coined. Not digital, that's not what they were talking about. They were talking about coins, gold, silver, a percentage of it, copper. So it's unconstitutional in my opinion, but who follows the Constitution anymore? So here's the big story, my friends. China, this is at Eurasian Times, by the way. China simulates ballistic missile attack on U.S., predicts Hwasong, if I'm pronouncing that right, Hwasong, or Hwasong 15 ICBM can strike Columbia, Missouri in just 33 minutes. A new study by Chinese scientists has made startling revelations about North Korea's missile program and capability, claiming that an ICBM fired by Pyongyang, the Korean capital, I'm probably screwing up the pronunciation, but it is what it is, could reach the United States in just a half an hour. Beijing-based defense scientists claim to have simulated a North Korean intercontinental ballistic missile attack on the continental United States. The team opined that if the American Missile Defense Network failed to intercept it, the North Korean missile could strike the center of the United States in 1,997 seconds, or approximately 33 minutes. Hong Kong-based South China Morning Post reported. Similar studies by Chinese researchers had typically avoided mentioning specific nations or regions, especially when the results were publicized. The report came when North Korea launched another intercontinental ballistic missile, its fourth in a week, amid joint naval drills underway between the United States and South Korea. The missile traveled nearly 1,000 kilometers before landing in the waters of Japan. Beijing-based defense scientists claim to have simulated a North Korean intercontinental ballistic missile attack on the continental United States. Less than a month ago, North Korea launched an ICBM, which prompted a UN emergency meeting and G7 criticism. ICBMs are particularly of concern because of their long range. According to experts, such missiles launched from North Korea may be able to reach the U.S. mainland. This precedent becomes even more perilous as it is believed that Pyongyang has developed ICBMs capable of carrying multiple nuclear warheads, reentry vehicles they call them. Against that backdrop, the Chinese study assumes more significance as the tensions between Pyongyang and Washington have risen, although the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command said that these launches did not threaten the U.S. immediately. North Korea has made several statements covertly threatening the continental United States. China's study of North Korea's ICBM is alarming. The study simulates the launch of North Korea's Haesong-15 missile, which was first fired back in 2017. It's a two-stage nuclear-capable missile with an effective range of 13,000 kilometers, according to the Chinese team led by Tang Yuyan from the Beijing Institute of Electronic Systems Engineering, a leading research center in China's aerospace and defense sector. According to research by Tang and her co-workers published on February 15 in the Chinese language journal Modern Defense Technology, the Haesong-15 missile was launched from Suncheon, a city of South Pyongyang province in central North Korea. Columbia, the city, is in the central U.S. state of Missouri, and that was the intended target of the simulation. The Chinese team estimated an alert would take around 20 seconds to reach the U.S. Missile Defense Command. This is where it gets interesting, folks. Within 11 minutes, the first interceptor missiles would launch from Alaska's Fort Greely. If they were unsuccessful, a second wave of interceptors would be launched from California's Vandenberg Space Force Base. The simulation, however, revealed that despite its great power, the United States, the U.S. Missile Defense Network has holes in its kill chain mechanism to recognize and defend against an attack that could be used by an adversary, according to Tang's team. One of the key goals of Tang's team's study was to gauge how well the U.S. missile defense system could safeguard the country. According to their simulations, it might be effective against conventional ballistic missiles. The simulation by the team revealed that the U.S. current surveillance system in space, the seas, and on land occasionally had trouble keeping track of the Korean missile in their simulation, particularly during ascent and fall and mid-course flight. They calculated that the U.S. missile defense system would be overwhelmed if North Korea fired multiple missiles with more than 40 warheads or decoys. The largest U.S. military installation in the Western Pacific Ocean, Guam, was the target of researchers' missile strike simulation. According to the Chinese analyst, if the North Korean missile took a unique trajectory with an extraordinarily high altitude, the U.S. could send 4 waves of intercepting missiles from its foreign military facilities, such as Japan, although some might miss their targets. The report stated that the U.S. currently does not have the capabilities to deal with such targets in near space due to North Korea also creating hypersonic glide weapons that may alter course in the atmosphere. In recent years, there has been an increase in interest in China attacking U.S. territory in the event of a war. This is viewed as merited within China because of increasing U.S. military activities in areas such as South China Sea, Taiwan Strait, and the Korean Peninsula. A study conducted in January by Chinese military intelligence marked potential U.S. targets for hypersonic weapon strikes. According to the examination, a first wave of Chinese attacks could target the Cape Cod Peninsula, Beale Air Force Base in California's Yuba County, home to some of the biggest ground-based radars in the U.S. According to Chinese intelligence agents, these installations would be exposed to hypersonic missiles that could travel at speeds greater than 5 times the speed of sound, maneuver in unpredictable ways, and strike. Nonetheless, Tang's team believes the U.S. missile defense capabilities could be significantly enhanced during the coming years, installing new U.S. missile defense systems such as the THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, systems in South Korea's drawn oppositions to Beijing and Pyongyang. Although the U.S. has maintained a credible defense against ballistic missiles, it has yet to develop a system that can intercept and shoot down hostile hypersonic missiles. So what I see here is a real problem for the United States, that if there's a real serious, they're not going to just say, hey, we're going to blow up one city in America or one military target. It's going to be all or nothing. It's going to be an overwhelming attack. We do not have the capability to defend against such an attack, especially if a lot of them are of the incoming are hypersonic glide weapons. We're living in spooky times, folks. Technology is a two-edged sword. I've said this many times. We get a lot of great things from the one edge. The other edge is the edge that's going to kill us. Sophisticated nuclear weapons that can evade all defenses. ChatGPT, or this AI that's coming. Nuclear energy is the one side of the sword. The other side is thermonuclear weapons. And it wouldn't be so bad if we lived in a moral, life-loving society, but we don't. People are just as evil as they've ever been since the beginning of time. Nothing has changed. Megalomaniacs pop up every here and there that, have a great lust for power, and they have the drive to get in these powerful positions, and then they want to rule over humanity and go down in history as the villain, I guess. But we need to put off the wars, okay? We need to stay the hell out going any deeper into World War III, which we're already in. And I don't think this is going to happen. I'm just telling you what I think we need to do to save humanity in the world. All these people that want to save the planet are the ones pushing for World War III, for bioweapons and everything that kills us off, including the planet. I was going to say something, but I better not say it on this platform. So if we can put off World War III, put off a war with China and North Korea and Iran until we get rid of this evil administration that is made America weak. We're like a sick animal, an injured beast, and the wolves are circling their prey. And that's where Biden has put us. I mean, he's the worst. I thought Jimmy Carter at one time was the worst president ever until Barack Obama, bringing communism and hatred to this country. And then, but Biden's, like at a whole nother level. I'm still not sure that, I think Obama's pulling Biden's strings. But if we could put this off until we get President Trump back in office, somebody with, that the rest of the world fears, and get our military up to snuff, because Trump brought it up to, Trump did rebuild our military. The problem is technology is going at geometric progressive rates. And it's like, it's like this ChatGTP or ChatGTP 1 just come out. And now it's Chat GTP 4, which is like, infinitely smarter than the first one. And, we're just heading for, terrible times. And it's been nice to have a break working out in the gas station. By the way, my stoplight works. I ordered because when these are hanging out on the street, the controller's actually down on the pole. But they make controllers to put in these so the light will go through its cycle, yellow, red, and then green. And it's only 20 some bucks through Amazon. So once I get that, I'll wire it up. Ordered my shelving brackets, and this has been fun and a break from all the mayhem that's going on like daily in the world. We are... I'm not changing my prediction that I've made for this year, that we're heading for the greatest depression in World War III. Inflation is going to continue to spiral out of control because the banks are failing and we're paying for it. The mega people, the average Janes and Joes across this country are bailing out these woke banks. I mean, we're broke now, but that's where they're going to create. They're going to create the money. They're going to inflate. That's what inflation is putting more currency out there. And most of our currency, by the way, folks, is digital. As far as the amount of actual cash that's out in our world right now, it's nothing in compared to the digital debt. They create debt, they give mortgages, and there was never any cash exchanged. I mean, they like push a button. Oh, here's another $1 trillion. And every time they do that, it's just simple economics. You don't need to be some brainiac master economist to figure out that the more you make of something, the less valuable it becomes. And they're doing it to us. During the Revolutionary War, the Continental Dollars, the Brits were forging our money and flooding it onto the market to make the Continentals not worth a Continental. Keep prepping, keep praying. I would tell you, I'm giving you my advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Number one, get all your preps. And what is prepping, by the way? And I was watching Hat Tip to Canadian Prepper. Prepping can be summed up in this one sentence. Prepping is storing energy. That's what prepping is. Prepping is storing energy. Whether it's, food, right? We need energy, intake, fuel for our generators, gasoline, diesel. That's what it is. And you need to store a lot of energy right now. And I mean, I don't think any prepper, even the ones that are way above me, have enough preps. Nobody is, you would think a year would be plenty. You would think 2 years is extreme. But if we go into a major global conflict, 5 years may be the minimum. 5 years. And so if you think you're just going to go get your survival seeds and put them in the ground, if you've never gardened and processed food and weeded and figured out how to deal with bugs and insects, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Everybody should have the survival seeds and learn that knowledge. Start collecting books on gardening and all that stuff. Print stuff off the internet because the day may be coming when you can't. If we dodge what's coming, it's an act of God. My opinion, because I think this is all set in motion now and we can't stop it. Praying we do, so that's my advice. I end all my videos with now. Keep prepping and keep praying. Should make some coffee mugs and some hats and t-shirts. I have to think about maybe carry that slogan out a little further. But so anyways, that's all I got. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like the videos, share them. That helps. Like reading your comments. If you want to read this article, I actually skipped over, I think, a little bit of it. It's at Eurasian Times. The other two headlines are at the Gateway Pundit. We'll just have to see. But I think, to finish what I was saying, get some money out of the bank because who knows what's coming. Banks are starting to fail in Europe and everything, and they're shoring them up with printed money. Oh, and Macron, or whatever, the leader of France, he just on his own, there's going to be riots in France, just raised the retirement age to 70. And I think they're going to do it here. And I have mixed feelings. I'll be able to start drawing my Social Security this December. But it grows 8% a year, and 8% is a pretty good return if I don't need the money. So, my thinking is, do I let it grow for a few more years, or do I grab it while I can get it because it may not be there much longer? So I guess I'll cross that bridge. I'm going to look at what the economy looks like and projection, kind of projections, because if I think we're into, which is very possible, into a 5 or 10 year economic catastrophe, then I'm probably going to draw it. I can earn X amount anyways without screwing it up too much, but it's a minor decision right now. So load up on all your preps, get some cash. If you can afford to, get some gold and silver, water filtration, the first aid stuff. I mean, I don't feel like I have to go into all the minutia of what you need to get for prepping, because there's a bazillion videos on Prepping 101 on YouTube. Just start watching them. When meat's on sale, start buying it. Get a pressure canner and start learning to pressure can your meat instead of the freezer. That way, when the grid goes down and you lose everything in the freezer, everything that's canned meat keeps for years. Renee, we didn't know how to do it. Renee never canned meat before we moved up here. She learned. She was freaked out by the pressure canner, and now she uses it all the time. So figure it out. Make a plan and work your plan. Okay, make a plan and work your plan. Get a piece of paper, figure out what you got, what you need, and then start check marking stuff off by prioritizing what you think is most important on that list and work your way through it. Because I think hell on earth is coming. Not good. Just not. Hey, Bill Bailey, get out the antidepressants. Bill's back on YouTube. I'm sorry, folks, but it is what it is. So here's the quick. So I've got it all cleaned up, other than I had the floor swept and I'm tracking stuff in. But I got all my stuff I moved out of here so we could finish the inside of it. But I'm looking forward to getting it painted and getting my shelving units up and cleaning up all the stuff I've collected and displaying it, and setting out here in the summer and enjoying a cold one, and hopefully not watching the ICBMs fly overhead. And if they are, I'll just have an extra cold one. Not much we can do about it. Okay, my friends, I will see you later. God bless you all. Keep the faith. We know how the story ends, right?